hope you're having an amazing day so far. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you happen to find me for the very first time, do not hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Why should you subscribe to my channel? Well, depending on what you're interested in, what kind of story you want to be told on YouTube, let me introduce myself. My name is Mervel. I am originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo, but I currently live in the United States of America, but I do travel back and forth to Congo for business purposes. I own a farm that I am currently running, and I have so many things to say about the future of agriculture in Congo specifically and in Africa in general. And I advocate for young Africans in the diaspora to go back home to invest and do businesses. It doesn't always have to be in the agricultural sector, but it could be at anything. They have my support. Those are my motivations, and I believe the more of us get involved, the better. All right. So in today's video, I really wanted to focus on the geopolitics and the reason why Africans should be accumulating more lands back at home. This is what's going on now. If you don't already know, true wealth is land. Land value increases. When you invest in buying land or in real estate, anything that have anything to do with land accumulations at all, bring interest eventually, okay? You may not collect right away, but in the long run, you should be able to. The problem that most of us have in today's world, in this day and age, is that people want to make profits as soon as they start an investment. But unfortunately, that is not how that works. You will have to put in work, effort, before you are able to start seeing the results. So you must be willing to participate and sacrifice yourself to see those profits, before those profits to start, or coming your way. And that's the biggest problem that a lot of Africans in the diaspora are having. They feel more comfortable staying out here in the West, making crumbs that we make here, rather than just start working on long-term investments. Those long-term investment that we're talking about, it is by acquiring lands back in Africa, investing in those lands, and in the long run, you will make so much money, okay? If that is your motivation, of course. Owning lands gives you ability to do so many things without feeling limited whatsoever. What is happening around the world now, it is scary and interesting both at the same time. The Western world have dominated global economy for the past 70 plus years. Since World War II, the world was pretty much dominated by Western powers. The Western influence has almost ended, and people are talking about it. But except people are refusing to realize and accept the reality. The reality is the West is not the same anymore. Look at what is happening now in Europe. When was the last time we saw European countries protesting in mass? When I say European countries, I'm talking about multiple countries. I ain't talking about just the yellow vested protest that took place in France a couple of years ago. Now we're talking about multiple farmers in all of these countries combined, almost ready to revolt against their elites. And there is a reason behind it. As I'm not an expert on how to get into details when it comes down to that, I'm just using this example so you guys can understand that the world is not the same, okay? But what can we learn from this? The only problem is these global elites, they make policies that benefits them and our detriment. They don't care about what we think. They don't care about our well-being. They only care about making sure that their wealth continue to grow while ours shrink. And that is not fair. But unfortunately, these governments have not done anything to make it better. They have not done anything to actually speak on behalf of the same people that vote for them whenever they are seeking re-election. So now the world is waking up. The world are now realizing that we have been persecuted, we have been lied to. So now it is time to wake up to the reality. What is the reality now in Europe? After Russia invaded Ukraine for a legitimate reason, these are my own personal opinion. You do not have to agree with it, but go do your own personal research. You will understand why. I believe Russia defended itself against NATO's aggression near its border, therefore justifying its intervention within Ukrainian soil. Okay? After that, what happened? Western countries have sanctioned Russia very harshly. Despite these sanctions, Russia have managed to continue to conduct business and sell its energy to other partners, including the same Western elite, the same Western powers who have imposed the sanctions on Russia. It's so much to just get away from. We're talking about energy here. Energy makes the world go around. Those sanctions are now starting affecting the same Western economies. Now the UK economy is officially in recession. Germany, being the most powerful economy in Europe, has just been taken over by the Russian economy. Russia is now the biggest economy in Europe, all right? Because they see the potential threat that Russia presents to NATO or all of the Western allies combined. They're trying to stop it. They're only trying to stop it in terms of business. If you think whatever they tell you on television about Russia being so evil or Putin being a dictator, it's never had anything to do with that. It's always had something to do with dominance and economic power. They wanted to make sure that they're the ones continuing to control the world economy. But unfortunately, Russia has developed and China has developed so much that you can't stop their economy like ever. That is exactly what's going on because these farmers and all of these other European countries, now their cost of living has dramatically increased due to higher prices of gas, oil, and so forth. These are energy that is heating your homes when it's cold, that is actually making your cooking daily possible, and pretty much has a lot to do with your life in general. Okay? So they think by throwing in sanctions, it was going to deter Russia and they will eventually withdraw from Ukraine, but they miscalculated. Now, we are seeing sentiments around the world growing rapidly against the US dollar. So the US dollar now is probably the only weapon of resource that they have left. But it seems not to be working any longer. All of this barking that you guys hearing on television is all so much so motivated by the arrogance, the historical arrogance of the West. The reality on the ground, it is so much different. The West is pretty much done. The West is never going to be able to dominate the world the way it have done for the past 70 years and more. Okay, why am I saying this? I'm always focusing on this because I think you have a huge impact on African in the diaspora. Most African that I come across, they all tell me the exact same thing. They say, hey man, I'm sick of staying here in the West. Life is not getting any better. The West is not what we thought it was. Now I want to go back home to and start investments. Well, a lot of people, they now motivated to do that, and I encourage them. I give them my blessing. But the problem is, though, they not acting on it the way that they verbalizing it. Okay, if you're planning on moving back to Africa to start an investment, you don't talk about it. You do it, and you don't wait till you have a lot of money to get it done. It's only a matter of time before the BRICS alliance, which is the black. All right, I'm not really gonna get into the BRICS now, but let's just say there are other, uh, monetary or currency. There are other alternative as far as like currency goes that is being developed, and the US dollar will no longer be the only source of transaction per se. All right, so you can try and cut me through, then we'll see what's going to happen. You ask, you just don't go through. All right, crazy people around Philadelphia, yo. You're trying to cut me off without even asking me for permission. I ain't gonna let you through. So ridiculous. But anyway, I apologize. I'm on my way to work, and Philadelphia is crazy, like crazy. Anyways, so the West is not going to be able to do the things that they once done to a lot of countries around the world, okay? Because countries now have, they understand, okay, a lot of countries have now understand that the West is not the only power, and they do not have the audacity to impose their will upon other countries any longer. So now that the reality is more and more becoming, starting to become realistic, and they know it, their tone is not the same anymore. United States, they will go out of their way, bomb whatever country they feel like, without fear of, without any accountability, okay? So guess what is happening now? Now with Ukraine, no, now with Israel and Palestine crisis, countries like Yemen, they're like, no, your ships will not navigate through the Red Sea without getting bombed. And that is exactly what they've been doing. You know why? Because the West probably they don't have anything to do about it anymore. They have spent so much money to finance Ukraine war, now Israel, that themselves, they don't have any means of defense anymore. And what is happening, it is going to continue to be the case, because it's always about the money. And Yemen understand that, as well as multiple countries in the region. They say, okay, because all of this geopolitics dominance has always been about money and imperialism. Well, we are going to make sure we hurt you where it hurt the most. And that's what they're doing. Ships loaded with oil, supplies, navigating through Red Sea to reach Israel. They're like, no, that's not gonna happen. It's gonna get bombed. Now guess how many ships have recently sunk in the Red Sea? So many of them now, right? And this is continuing to change the way the world see the West. And now we are seeing a lot of countries now are standing up. Revolution happening in Africa, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger. Now the Democratic Republic of Congo, our beautiful country, now signing military alliance agreement with Russia, which, by the way, got Lumumba killed when he boldly wanted to ally himself with the Soviet Union. It presented a threat to the Western dominance. It got Lumumba's killed. Now Felix Tshisekedi, years later, is doing the exact same thing. This brings me back to, there's a philosopher, I think a philosopher, sociologist, can't think of his name now, but it'll come back to me, who said, like, the world will be sick of um, capitalism, that eventually it will lead to revolt, lead to a revolution. The proletariat will stand up against this global elite, and that's exactly what's taking place in Europe now. But that's just only the beginning. But us as African, right, what we need to do is to acquire more land, invest in our country. So while this global shift is happening, we do not even have to worry about it. Okay, we don't have to worry about none of that. You know, you have accumulated wealth through the acquisition of land, that in the long run you won't need to stay in this country. Because keep in mind, the same countries that makes you feel comfortable, that even made you change some of your friends that you grew up with, because you think because they're back in Africa you have exceeded their level. Well, those same countries, the only reason they put you in that position because their currency is one of the powerful one around the world. Well, you guys been watching for a little bit, you may want to hit the like button a little bit. I don't always have to remind you of that, but come on, you know how YouTube algorithm work. Hook the brother up. If you're watching and you're interested in what I have to say, hit the like button and I will really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Back to the video. So now we see all of these things taking place, unfolding before our eyes. We are seeing the world change, and this is the best time to be alive. I am very, very excited that I am able to do the things that I'm doing now. I'm working here in America, but all of my money is getting invested, it's getting sent back home. It's doing something in Africa, because I believe moving forward, Congo, not only it will be the powerful economy in the whole continent of Africa, it'll just be one of the biggest players in the world. I focus on agriculture, farming, and all of that good stuff. Congo have millions of arable lands that still pretty much unexploited. Imagine if the government has, now they actually take this matter with seriousness and actually invest in agriculture. Agriculture alone would make so many millionaires in Congo. And Rwanda attack us because of the view and how beautiful our country is. With the resources we have, with the view, the scenery in Kivu, Goma, and all of these other eastern parts of the Congo, it's so mesmerizing. And it's another thing that they should also know, that now that the West is not going to be the dominant power in the, you know, in the current world anymore, the same Western elites, the same Western power who have chosen Paul Kagame specifically to do the things that he's been doing in Congo, they're going to abandon him. Sentiments are growing with their European parliaments that are condemning firmly Kigali's government, while Congo is also continuing to multiply its efforts to defend itself and also regain more territories, which have been the case recently, and I'm very, very happy about that. So if I'm to conclude, I'll say this: geopolitics should serve as a lesson for African and diaspora to invest in land moving forward, because that's the only way out. Whatever you think you have in the West, it's not going to last any longer. So the easiest time for you to take the advantage, go back to Africa, invest, and just secure your future. Unfortunately, our finances are being controlled by global elites who think they know more than we do. And they do. They have the money. They have the influence in politics. They influence politics so much that the same politicians that we think are working for us, they actually work against us. Those people are a bunch of business men and women who only care about who only care about nothing but themselves. And this is why we should look out for ourselves and make sure we secure our future by investing in more lands in Africa and also starting investments as African diasporans. All right. So that is my message that I have for you this morning. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving me your attention. Make sure to hit the like button, share the video, subscribe, and also stick around for more videos. I got multiple videos, updates coming up about what's going on the farm right now in Kinshasa that I am going to share with you. And turn those alerts on for those videos when they get dropped. Until the next one, I'll see you guys soon. Peace out. Have a fantastic day.